If you were to name a sport that's synonymous with Wales, you'd probably choose rugby union. Few are as passionate about the oval ball game as the Welsh, who've seen their international and club sides achieve major success in recent months. At the same time, though, football has been making quite an impression on the people of the Principality. This is particularly true in South Wales, where 3 clubs are nearing the end of outstanding seasons. One is Swansea City. Now playing at the impressive Liberty Stadium, the Swans recently secured promotion to the 2nd tier of English football for the first time in 24 years. Cardiff City are also in the headlines. Playing in the shadow of rugby's Millennium Stadium, the Bluebirds will head to Wembley in May to contest England's FA Cup final. And completing the trio is Llanelli AFC, who play their football in the Welsh League. This is Stevenheath Park, Llanelli's home ground. This season, for the first time in the club's history, the Reds have been crowned champions of the Welsh Premier League. For the players and their manager, it's been a campaign to remember.
Feels very good. I mean, to be fair, I'm so pleased for the players and the supporters of the club, because you know, this is the first time they've won something, and you know, it makes you feel good. But to come from a normally rugby town, such a famous rugby town as well, to win a league like this in football is a big thing for the club, and I'm very pleased for them. You know, people who's helped me as well, and plus the players.
We caught up with the team shortly before their first home fixture since securing the championship. Newtown were the visitors that evening, and the atmosphere in the Llanelli camp was understandably relaxed. With crowds normally measured in 3 figures, there's not much money sloshing around the game, but 3 years ago, Llanelli became one of only 2 full-time clubs in the Welsh Premier League. It's helped the Reds to be dominant on most fronts this season. As well as winning the league, Llanelli won the League Cup and still have the Welsh Cup final to look forward to before the season finally ends. Instrumental to their success has been their form in front of goal. 99 goals in 34 league games. Striker Rhys Griffiths has scored 37 of them, and his contribution is summed up in one word.
Phenomenal. He's come in. He's delivered what we wanted from him, to score, somebody to score goals, and his record speaks for himself. And he is by far, at this moment in time, the best striker in the league.
Oh, you didn't? You know you didn't.
Griffiths' record is hugely impressive. Across all the leagues in Europe, he's the continent's leading marksman this season, although the weighting system counts against the Welsh Premier League, and it means he won't win the Golden Boot. Over the last 2 campaigns, he scored 101 goals in 95 games for the Reds. Not bad for a player who in a full-time club is very much a part-time footballer. Match days aside, Griffiths works as a fireman, and the 28-year-old is conscious that he should be seen to pull his weight.
The difficult thing is actually explaining to the manager and more the players, to be honest, why I'm not training all the time, because it's just not feasible to take time off to train. So I keep myself fit at home, and everyone knows that, but it's just the case of the guys making the effort week in or day out to make it into training, and then they turn around and they say, "Where's Rhys again?" And that's the hard part, explaining it to them. But as long as I score, I think I'll get away with it.
Booking annual leave and swapping shifts with willing colleagues enables Griffiths to be available for selection each week. And looking ahead, there are certain games in which he'll be very keen to play. As holders of the Welsh title, Llanelli have secured themselves a place in the qualifying stages for next season's UEFA Champions League. Europe's biggest clubs don't enter the competition until the 3rd qualifying round, but Griffiths is hopeful they might get lucky. After all, they did overcome Swedish opposition in the UEFA Cup back in 2006.
There's some good teams to play in the first qualifying round, but if you can manage to get through that, which is going to be a tall order, whoever we get. But if we can manage to get through that, then you really have got some opportunities to play against teams and players, which are, players at our standard can only dream of. It's the trophy at the end of our season in the Welsh Premier League to be able to play in Europe, because a lot of the really good professionals who play in England, even in the Premier League, they never get the chance. So to play in Europe's great, yeah.
Just as they had been throughout the season, Llanelli were always in charge against Newtown. Goals were inevitable, and Griffiths was soon to reach his own personal milestone. His second of the night brought up his personal century of goals in a Llanelli shirt. It would finish 5-0 to the home side. They were celebrating the championship in style. And all this in front of over 700 fans, Llanelli's biggest crowd for a league game this season. Those who traditionally watch rugby are starting to take notice of the round ball game. But there's still a long way to go before football becomes the Principality's #1 sport.
I think rugby's still the dominant sport. There's so much history of success with the rugby that it's not going to turn that quickly. But having said that, there's no reason why people can't enjoy both, and I think that's what's happening. I'd be meeting fans of rugby, fans of the Scarlets, fans of the Ospreys, who are now sort of taking notice of the football, and I don't see why the fans can't sort of watch the football when the rugby's playing away and they can't make it, or perhaps on the night where the rugby's not playing. We can share the fans.
A favourable draw in the Champions League this summer will generate further interest in Llanelli, who may be hard pushed to hold on to their best players if they continue to prosper. And if they do, expect a few new fans to find their way to Stevenheath Park. The Reds will always be ready to entertain you. Next week on FIFA Futbal Mundial, Toninho Cerezo, the former Brazilian midfielder who's now coaching in the Emirates. And we catch up with Portsmouth and Ghana's Lord of the Dance, Suleiman Tari. See you then.